All right, we're back and welcome to part 2 of this South Australia trip. Now, as I said in my last video, if you guys actually watched it, so definitely go check that thing out because it was an insane trip. We went from around Hay, New South Wales, all the way to around Ceduna, Herping, pretty much everywhere in between. It was incredible. All along the Eyre peninsula we mainly stuck to. Found some incredible things. I'm not going to spoil the last video because you guys should go check that out. And this is going to be part 2, hopefully. I don't know. I'll see how I go with the video-wise. But, yeah, we're currently at this big salt lake right now. And we're about to go looking not only in the sand dunes, but hopefully we're going to go to some pretty sick places tonight. And hopefully find some cool animals. But for now, I'm going to try... You didn't see that. We're going to try not to slip over on this salt lake. But let's do this. Right, g'day guys, we're back, and this was actually the first major snake find of our trip. Now, in this moment right here, I'll probably look a bit stupid, as I thought this was a peninsula brown snake, but in actuality, it was a Dugite. Now, they do look very similar in this region. They both, I thought the difference between the two is one had a grey belly, but it turns out they both do in this area, so that was completely wrong on my behalf. But mainly the best way to tell them apart is just their head shape. Like I don't know, peninsula browns have much more of like a rounded head by the looks of it, based on photos that I've seen. But yeah, your Dugites are found along the most southwestern corner of Australia, from around Perth, all along the Nullarbor to around where I am here on the Western Eyre Peninsula. Definitely a really cool elapper to find. Yeah, pretty sick snake. Now, this species here where we found him, it's pretty much just farmland, although it does look pretty natural and that around me now. Pretty much just nothing around us except for farmland, which, I don't know, makes sense because your brown snakes are pretty good at adapting for those very human-modified environments, I guess I should say. But yeah, what a snake. I was really, really stoked to find one of these. I'm so happy we managed to, get up close to this one. Such an incredible species. Very lucky to see it. Charging up that S-coil. Wow. So once again, you can see that S position, and I just learnt this off Kai, eh? The name Pseudonaya actually means false cobra. Now, the best way you can tell that is, see how he's S-ing up now? Kind of looks like a cobra. In my opinion, I honestly think it's a bit rubbish, to be honest with you, because I've seen a red belly hood way more than any brown snake I've seen, but I guess your Ingrams and that do it, but yeah, that's cool. We're getting a bit close. But this is what I'm talking about with, do you know how very often brown snakes are mistaken for chasing people? And let's demonstrate this right now. So, see this snake here? He sees me as a threat, and so he's just going to like S up, try to defend himself, try to look all big and mean. But if I just stand still and do my thing, he's just going to sit there. He's just chilling. Brown snakes are very sight-based, so if you move very quickly, they're going to see you as a threat, and so they're going to like want to charge at you. Now, that charge that you saw wasn't actually really him chasing me. That was more of a mock charge. Now, these guys do that just to look really mean, because realistically, in a fight between a human and this guy, we're going to win every single time. Because although this guy's venom would, of course, kill me at some point, I would be able to kill this snake now. And there's nothing that snake can do about it. So realistically, them chasing you isn't the best survival tactic. So pretty much that's just them telling you to go away. And the second they get that opportunity to bolt, they will dash. And in fact, this is probably one of the quickest snakes I think we've ever seen.
Before long, it was time to hit the road.
I just hit the brakes so hard, my Life 360 thought I was in an accident, but we're on our way to try to find some masters snakes, and we got our second peninsula brown for the Arvo. Well, it's got a chill to it now. It's now that we're close to the coast, but double trouble, man. But look at that snake in the sunset. That's unreal. extremely windy now. Currently on the coast and trying to look for master snake, and we have a beautiful thick-tailed gecko. Now, I've seen these guys before around Sydney. Oh my god, it's really tough to get good audio. Might have to do a voiceover, but where is he? There he is. But yeah, beautiful little thick-tailed, very different similar patterns to one you get here, just more blue eyes. But yeah, that's really cool. This one's a young one as well. Licking his little eyes, but yeah, they're hanging around under these rocks. It's really, really warm still. As you can see, just ducked under there. But yeah, these rocks are still really, really warm, no matter how cold it is right now. That really cold Antarctic wind blowing at us. But yeah, we're hoping to maybe get a master snake under one of these rocks. But yeah, let's keep looking.
So there was no luck with the master snake, unfortunately, but on the way back to our campsite, we managed to find this spectacled hooded snake, or Suta spectabilis, on the road. Now, once again, this was a case of misidentification. We thought it was a Gould's hooded snake, which Mr. Kai Gould with us was pretty pumped about, but turns out they differ because there's like a band or something on their snout or something differs. They do look pretty similar, and they both overlap here, but yeah, I guess that's double whammy for the snake misidentifications for us today, but pretty cool little species to find. Now we've seen curl snakes and that before. That's another species of Suta, but these guys are a little bit less psychotic than the curl snakes. But yeah, what a really cool little snake. Very pretty. Don't know how we found it. It was cold as balls. Literally, the wind was so icy and cold, I could not feel my fingertips, It was freezing. And yet this guy was out on the road at about 9, 10 o'clock-ish. I don't know how he does it. Not too long after we ended up finding that spectacled hooded snake, we went back to camp, slept for the night, and then afterwards we made the long drive to, I think it's about 2 hours north of Port Augusta, in a place called Penati Lagoon. Now, it's a pretty big area. It's like a massive big salt lake in that area along the Stewart Highway, I think it is. I think that's the one that runs along there, yeah. And we went from, I don't know, we just sort of cruised along there and found a few pretty cool stuff. So that's where our next part is, in this same video, but it's like, I think we're going now. But yeah, I'll pass on to me back then. Yeah, leave it to it.
2, we got this beautiful little returning fella. That's a male crested dragon, or is it Ctenophorus? Yeah. Ctenophorus cristatus or something like that. But such a beautiful lizard, definitely one of the more colourful lizards you can find around here. He's got that beautiful yellow and blues on him, and that beautiful stripy tail. That's insane. But it's gonna be tough to photograph this guy because they are as fast as lightning and a little bit quicker than those thorny devils. But yeah, we're just leaving that salt lake now, and yeah, that's a sick little start to the video though. Yeah, quick day off, so I'm sneaking around. There he is there. Let's see how close I can get. Things I don't see. Look at that. You can see the colours on that thing. Right, so I'm out here cooking in the very harsh sun right now, and what I'm actually doing is I'm looking for varanids, and not just anyone. Varanus gilleni, also known as the pygmy mulga monitor or Gillen's monitor. Now, very small little varanid, only reaching, I don't know, about the size of my hand. It could be wrong, never seen one, but we're pretty much looking around all these really big dead mulga trees behind me. Looking around, trying to look for a little head poking out basking, and just being very quiet when we're going near it in order not to scare one, because the second they go into those trees, it is pretty much impossible to get them out. So we're going to need one sitting out in the open basking, which they hopefully will be doing as we speak. But yeah, while we're here, we're also looking for central bearded dragons, which we actually haven't even seen on this trip yet. Somehow we've seen 2 thorny devils before we've ever seen an eastern bearded dragon. Oh no, central bearded dragon, skitty, my bad. But yeah, I can't believe that we haven't actually found one yet. But yeah, we're gonna keep looking. It's hot as balls right now. I think it's about 37, 38 degrees. My phone is like that close to overheating. And I'm definitely overheating right now. But the motivation for looking for gillenite is keeping me going. Now, these guys do share the trees with another species, not a varanid, but a skink. Now, this skink is known as the tree skink, or it's a Egernia stracata, I think it is. Sounds familiar, but it is a tree skink. Oh, I'm just gonna sit here in the shade and do this rest bit. But yeah, it's a tiny little skink, and it lives in these mulga trees as well as the mulga monitor. And probably just because they eat the same thing, they eat insects, and I've seen a lot of little grasshoppers and that hanging around these trees. But yeah, while I'm talking to you guys, I'm just looking. Is that one there? No, it's something else. Anyway, but yeah, before I overheat, I'm gonna keep on looking. Anyway, I'll be back if we actually find anything cool. Alright, so we've just been looking around. Got our first central bearded dragon of the trip so far. The grey one. Probably just grey to blend in with the all this mulga wood and that. But yeah, that's a really good way to tell the difference between these guys and your easterns and even your westerns, because these guys just have that really white mouth that the easterns do not have. Plus these guys just get a lot bigger than your western bearded dragons that we saw. So there's that classic defense display. That black beard. That's actually what gives them their name. But as I said probably in the last video, that beard isn't actually very spiky at all, unlike your thorny dragons, which we saw in last episode. But yeah, they are a very defensive lizard. This one's actually a really nice one, really pretty one. That's sick. Whoop! And he's off for a run. G'day guys, we're back after a long day of searching. Our cameraman has managed to find us this incredible animal. Now this is Varanus gillenite, also known as the pygmy mulga monitor or the Gillen's monitor. Now, this has got to be one of the most awesome animals I've seen. I know Kai just over there is equally as happy as I am. Probably even more. He spent way more longer than I have looking for this animal, but somehow a cameraman spotted him, and holy, I can't get over it. One of the most beautiful monitors I've ever seen. They remind me of like a parenti, just downsized. And those gorgeous greens and like stripes and that on his back make him an absolutely stunning animal. Wow, he's so cool. So these guys, being so small, they're mainly insectivorous, which means they eat stuff like, your centipedes, crickets, grasshoppers, and smaller things like that live in these dead mulga trees. So all these trees around us probably have at least, maybe even a gillenite in one of them. So they're pretty common around here. It's just, you've got to look in the right places, and wow, these two boys definitely delivered us a sick animal right here. But we're going to go ahead and get some photos before he skedaddles off. But as the sun's getting lower, we're maybe going to head over to our next location and maybe find more of them. But we are going to be mainly targeting large lapids and the Penanty Lagoon knobtail. But for now, we're going to get to photographing. I'll see you guys then. Ew! Now, and we finally got this kind of sub-adult Penanty Lagoon knobtail. Very skinny, but still really cool to see. Very pretty. But these guys are the endemic species you can find around here in the dunes. Now these guys, unlike your other species I've encountered, like your Lebus and your Stellatus, these guys don't actually live in spinifex. Instead, they live in these sort of grassy tussocks on the dunes, which kind of just takes the place of the spinifex. But these guys have an incredibly small habitat range. The range only extends about 10 kilometers to the north-south and probably around 50 or 60 east and west. They live in a very small patch of dunes surrounded by pretty much nothing but gibber. So yeah, these guys are a very isolated little gecko species, but These guys are actually classified as endangered, but not because of their numbers, or even though we have had a hard time tonight. Some nights people can find up to 10 in a single night. It is just because of how restricted their population is. But yes, even the bands on that little knob is insane. Such a pretty little gecko. Now, yeah, like your other species of nymphs, these guys do also dig burrows. Where's he going? Yeah, they do dig burrows as well. Yeah, really pretty one. Definitely one of the prettiest I've ever seen. Don't have the blues like your hand. You're under that log, aren't you? Definitely don't have the blues like your stellatus does, but still a really sick knobtail and a second nephris species for this trip. But yeah, well, I'm gonna get to photographing around this log, and then we're hopefully gonna find a Jan's banded. Right near camp, we actually stumbled across one of the best finds of the night, I reckon. This is, of course, your Jan's banded snake. Big target of mine, pretty small apparently, but sick little species. Now you can see why they're called the Jan's banded snake. They've got those really beautiful black and yellow bands. Now the reason why for this is that the predators think they're more dangerous and not really fun to mess with. But also, I reckon they might also behave similar to the bandy stripes, because the way the bandy stripes work is they're black and white, and so that means when they're moving really quickly, a predator can't actually tell which end is the head and which end is the tail, and it's really hard for them to determine which direction this animal is moving. Now, being such a small snake, a lot of things might predate on it, and so that might actually help out with this snake's survival, which is really cool. Now, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. See that banding? See how it makes the snake look much harder to identify? I mean, he's moving pretty slow at the moment, but yeah, these guys are once again more of a burrowing species. You can see them there trying to dig in the sand. Their head is built like a shovel, which if this sand was a lot harder, he would just disappear right into it. Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about with those banding. Makes him look a ton more hidden. That's really cool. Such a pretty snake as well. I've been really hoping to tick off one of these this trip. And hopefully he starts digging. That'd be really cool. There he is. Very pretty snake. Very pretty. And it just scared him. Wow. Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about with those bands. If I'm walking after him, those bands make it very hard to identify, to figure out what snake he is. But also, like other species of smaller snakes like him, these guys also do secrete a musk, which pretty much just tells predators that he isn't the best to eat. So a combination of that musk and that really bright colour just tells predators that he probably isn't the best thing to be eaten. That's actually really sick. I'm going to try to find something else. Soil. Now let's watch him dig in action. Ready? And he's gone.
It was time to hit the road again, and we buggered off down south, and then a little bit east, and then a little bit like that away. And we ended up, I think we would have been right on this, like just a bit around Renmark sort of thing. And that's where we started our final day. And on the way there, we flipped some bits of rubbish on the side of the road, and we actually found some pretty cool animals along the way. I'm about to chuck those clips up in a second, but it was pretty sick, so yeah.
Super common South Australia.
What?
The skink we're after. Where's your slender blue-tongued friend? We'll let him go and see if we can't rustle up a Venustus.
Alright, so here we have a tiny juvenile Ctenophorus pictus, also known as the painted dragon. One of my big targets for this little trip. Really pretty one. You can see why they're called the painted dragon, because they've got those beautiful little splotches and markings on their back. But when they get bigger, I think they get a lot more pretty, because this one is only just a juvenile hanging around these rocks. Thought it was an earless dragon at first, but you can tell it's not, because you can see the tympanum, or that eardrum, just hanging out there. That's really cool. Pretty one. Hanging around this junk area. I'm just trying to have a look for stuff. Alright, well, final night of the trip sort of thing. We're back near Renmarkish sort of thing. We're just leaving it now after chilling out for a bit. Yeah, such a good night last night. Well, I mean, not snake-wise, we got a Jans. That was really cool, but road cruising-wise, we didn't really get too much. It was pretty quiet. Oh my God. But, yeah, we're gonna try near, I don't know, in the spot nearby, and hopefully we're gonna try and get some larger elaptids in this video. So fingers crossed. I really hope to see a mulga, because this will be the second or third time I've been, or second time that I've been in their habitat and gotten absolutely skunked. So like, I'm really hoping to see one. Maybe like a strappy, another strappy would be cool, or even a ringed brown. That would be absolutely top. That would be really cool. And then afterwards, we're gonna return back to Victoria somewhere, and we're gonna try to look for Ramiformis, or the southern bell frogs. And then, yeah, that's trip done. But if, yeah, alright, I'll see you guys if we actually find some stuff. Ew! Look at this.
Oh my God.
We just, I'm sorry for interrupting Kai's video.
Insane.
That is the biggest curl snake I think I've ever seen. Holy. Look at that thing. Sure it's a curl snake? Never knew they'd get this big, eh?
Yeah, they do. They get this big.
Wow.
That's a massive pearl snake.
Shouldn't be barefoot, but whatever.
Oh well.
Oh.
We're getting him off the road, but that's big. That's so cool.
Oh.
I was like a couple hundred meters off the road.
Wow. Alright, let's do this. Yeah. Alright, it's another snake tonight. Surprisingly, our first blind snake. Actually a really pretty one. Oh yeah, I think it is a prong snout. He's got two little prongs either side.
Yeah, prong snouted blind snake.
Prong snouted blind snake. Yeah, two lobes either side. Really weird looking one. I've only ever gotten the blackish ones down home. This is my second blind snake species.
Aniolus biturculatus or something like that.
There's your man. He knows all it. There we go.
I can't pronounce it, but it's similar to that.
Wow. That's actually sick. Wow. Man, tonight's actually on for snakes, eh? Better than, like, what's it called? Penang Lagoon. He's about the size of my foot. Decent sized. Yeah, alright. Let's get back in the car, what do you reckon? Yo! So we're currently photographing the first find of the night. Actually forgot to record him when we found him. But this is the ringed brown snake, or Pseudonia modesta. Now, this is actually the smallest of the brown snake genus and the least venomous one, I believe. But we still don't want to get snagged by this guy. But yeah, he is sitting very still right now. Yeah, he gets the nape. Okay, I spoke way too soon. But he's yet another snake with that really red nape on him. You can see that sort of red head, red line. That's how you can identify this species. Plus, he actually has some really nice banding down his back. Now, I'm going to bring up a little point here. Now, if you see a snake like this, and you might mistake it for something like a scalyfoot, but the best way to tell is that these sorts of venomous snakes don't have those longitudinal lines. They have more lateral lines. Oh no, I think that's it. Is that it? Lateral? I don't know. It's it. So they have banding. No, they have tiger stripes. Meanwhile, your bandies have stripes going from their head down to their tail. So that's probably the best way to tell a brown snake like this from a non-venomous species of skink. He's very quick. Zooming through the photography booth right now. How's that? Alright, so here's that red nape snake. Now, the behaviour he's demonstrating right now is what they are probably the most famous for, and that is their little periscope. So these guys periscope up, they stick their little heads up at you. Now, the reason why they do this, because I just learned that these guys are actually, oh my god, his head's not in focus, there we go, is because these guys are actually a semi-arboreal species of snake, and these guys can actually climb vertically up different trees. Come on, get your head in focus, mate. No? Yeah, so he thinks he's trying to climb me right now. It's not really a defensive posture, it's just him trying to get away. But that is a really cool snake. yet another sort of reddish snake of the night, as well as that ringed brown. But good way to tell them apart. Just simply, these guys are a lot skinnier. These guys are very small. They lack the rings. They just don't have that very different head. Very different head. Yeah, these guys can actually climb trees. That's actually incredible. Wow. Never seen them do that before. Now, these guys are pretty widespread. You can actually find them in, like, my region, sort of like the Illawarra sort of thing. But I've never actually seen one in the Illawarra. The last one I saw was a tiny little baby one out in Narrabri, like a year ago. And he was minuscule. He was way smaller than this, but they can go a little bit bigger. But a really cool snake. I'm really happy with this one, but we're going to let him be, and we're going to bugger off, and we're going to hopefully either find some ramiformis or a Murray Darling, or even just a mulga. That'd be pretty cool. You know, we're going to head off. See you, dude. Run! Walk around the Murray, and I think just out there we've got a growling grass frog, or a southern bell frog, but got to walk in to grab it, I reckon. Just so slippery and so muggy, isn't it? What is that? I don't even know what it is. It's pretty shallow here. Oh yeah, let's find out. Just a parent's god. Oh, I think it's parents. Definitely not one. Oh, so we're just trying to eye shine them. They live in these muggy, like muddy salt plains, or like muddy riverbanks, I should say. Whoops. But man, hoping we find one. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired as, but I'm not gonna stop until I find one. Where my thongs are there though. Yeah, gotta keep at it. I'll be back if I actually find one. So this is one species I don't think I've actually filmed yet, but this is an eastern banjo frog. Really big one actually, just hanging out in the shoreline. Thought you were a bloody little southern bell frog. That is actually where they sit. They sit like that along the mud flaps. But I mean, at least there's frogs out. But I'm just sort of going off eye shine at the moment. But good old banjo frogs. Man, we've been searching for about half an hour and we finally managed to find one. I'm absolutely pumped on this. So this is the southern bell frog, or Latoria ramiformis. Now, of course, this guy looks very similar to your green and golden bell frogs, which I only found very recently, and that is because they are part of the same sort of family, except that these guys occur along the Murray here and all the way down towards Melbourne. So they pretty much just follow this whole sort of river system up towards this way, towards the more western parts of their range. Now, similar to your green and golden bell frogs, these guys are also considered to be an endangered species, and that is largely just due to like habitat pollution, stuff like that, and the chytrid fungus. But what an incredible frog. I still can't get over him. I love my bell frogs, but I'm going to go ahead and get some photos of him. This is probably one of the biggest ticks on this trip. Maybe rivaling the Thorny. That is unreal. All right, we're going to get some photos of this fella. Just that natural sun. Alright, well, I reckon this about wraps up this part 2 video and like this video in general. Just go out from Murray, hopefully we see one, but yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up now. It's been an absolutely incredible trip. We went from where we are now to the Eyre Peninsula, from the east side to the west side, the Eyre Peninsula, all the way up north, like through the north, up to near Penati Lagoon, and then all the way back. It was a massive trip, and we've been surprisingly successful. It was incredible. Like last night on that road, oh my God, we're cleaning up. It was so good. It was heaps good. But, well, it brings it to an end. It's going to be tough to do videos for the next few months or so. Like, I'm going to try and get a few little ones out, like maybe like monthly or something like that. Just 'cause I do have university coming up in like not long at all, like a week. I thought I kind of wanted to go on this trip, like a last hurrah before I have to lock in for uni. But yeah, so that's gonna be a thing. But hopefully in winter, while the reptiles are like all brumating and stuff, I'm hopefully gonna be able to find some like winter frogs and that. I might do a video on them. I reckon that'd be pretty interesting. Maybe some like little local herping videos, just like herping around the Sydney sandstone, stuff like that. But beyond that, I reckon yeah, it's gonna be it. But be sure to like and subscribe. Check out part 1 if you haven't seen it yet, because it's a banger. It's actually pretty good. I actually saw some pretty sick stuff in that one. Make sure to check out some of the other videos. There's some pretty alrightish ones out there, so check them out. But for now, see ya. Ew.